I discovered yoga. So I guess I discovered yoga almost 5 years ago now. It was 2014 and I was on my way to India. Never really had a background in yoga, always been super athletic on volleyball and basketball, and I was in my fitness class, always teaching and whatnot. But in terms of yoga, I didn't really understand the spirituality aspect of it. So when I decided to take my teacher training, it was kind of just a way to spend my time effectively while I was traveling. And first of all, arriving in India is just a crazy, crazy, crazy experience. It's just such a hustle bustle. It's hot. It smells like every scent you could imagine. There's people everywhere looking at you, especially when you're tall and blonde. But it was also very calming. And because there's so much chaos, you sort of instill this sense of stillness inside yourself. So from the very moment I arrived in India, my yoga journey, I think, internally had already started. But when I arrived at my school, that's how I kind of knew that I was on the right path. It took me a very long time to get there. I took my time traveling to Agra to see the Taj Mahal, and when I finally arrived at my school, my teacher, he came down and he opened the doors and he said, welcome home. And from that moment, every time I return back to India, he still says, welcome home. And it gives me this feeling of when I was younger and I just used to run around the blocks on my street, that same sort of, where there's no real pressure on what's to come. It's just very much being present and experiencing whatever is coming as it comes with no expectation. And that teacher training was probably the best one I've done. I've done 4 since then, all around India. Mysore to study Ashtanga. I went back to my school to do my 300-hour yoga therapy training. And then I've done a bunch in Goa to learn Iyengar and other just like random classes from teachers that I admire. But my very first class with my very first teacher, he was just so genuine and also very fresh to running a program like that and having a home and bringing all these foreigners into his space to teach them what he had learned so far. And there was maybe only 8 of us. It was very small, very humble, and even to this day we're all very close friends. Actually, we called ourselves the Spirit Sisters because we all shared a bedroom together, us and one mouse actually. And she just got married and she invited us all to her wedding, and even though we only spent maybe 3 weeks together, the solidarity of our friendship was just so real. Also, we did this thing called Shat Karma. It's like a kriya, where you drink ounces and ounces of salt water, and once you drink this, you're trying to flush the system, and so eventually you want to defecate, is that the word? You want to poo until your poo is as clear as the water you're drinking. And so when you share an experience like that with 8 other people, ultimately you just become best friends when you're all sharing one toilet. And that entire time there, I didn't have anything really lingering in the past or anything really lingering in the future. It was just the practice and the discipline of waking up at 4, going to your meditation, eating vegan, being present with your teachers and just fully trusting that whatever they're telling you is coming from the genuineness of their heart and what they practice every day. And I think that's the best thing in a teacher, is that they practice it every day. So it's no memorization from a book. It's just speaking their truth. And even still, I follow all my teachers on Facebook and they're still living their truth, and they still teach the same way and have the same impact on people. I can see by the ones that finish their teacher training programs. And so, yoga has taught me a lot about self-discipline and self-righteousness, and how if you don't find happiness inside, it really just doesn't matter where you are. And also finding that peace inside when the rest of the world is so chaotic, and bringing that back to Toronto. Every time I go to India and I bring whatever I learned back to Toronto, I always feel like I'm bringing a little bit more peace and that Eastern philosophy of stillness and presentness and appreciation for just what you have and learning to find a home inside your own body, as opposed to always searching for those external pleasures in life. And I actually have such like a great feeling of nostalgia right now talking about it. Yeah.